Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 16th episode of Piano Cafe Virtual Connect. We will be joining Botswana today. How was the sound? It's really good, Botswana. It goes without saying that tourism in Bangladesh has nothing to do with the famous Botswana. But the slope of eye-catching beauty seems the enriched Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, you will surely be surprised to know that the consulate of this beautiful nation is located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. However, we have not seen any effective initiative or invite or encourage to the citizen of Bangladesh to travel in this beautiful Botswana country. But we are more eager to see the Niagara Falls. Why? Why Niagara? Why not Victoria? So, why are we indifferent to Victoria Falls? Why are not Bangladeshi tourists interested to visit in this spectacular place like Victoria Falls? However, due to the lack of publicity, Bangladeshi tourists are not interested in knowing about this spectacular event. Some other interesting facts are that Botswana tourism is known as a Kaza region, which is consists of these four countries, including Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Today has joined the live program from Botswana, Ms. Jillian Blackbeard, CEO of the Victoria Falls Regional Tourism Association. We welcome you to Piano Island Tours and Travel, Bangladesh. We thank you, ma'am, for your valuable time. We also get help expand the Botswana tourism industry in Bangladesh. Today, on this auspicious beautiful and historical day, I wish Ms. Jillian Blackbeard sincere cooperation and direct support to bring the connection of Botswana tourism with Bangladesh. Let us work together to promote tourism in both the countries. Before we go to the main discussion of the program, we would like to inform the people of Kaja through you the name of our most popular tourist place of Bangladesh. Through you, I invite travel thirsty people from Botswana to visit Bangladesh. You know, we have archaeological monuments and traditional to visit, and there is beautiful river. There is Bay of Bengal. In the heart of Bay of Bengal, there is Coconut Island, which is the name is called is Saint Martin's. Also, in Bay of Bengal, there is blue whale, and there is the traditional traditional name is Jamdani. Also, just very soon, UNESCO heritage listed our mangrove forest Sundarban. So, lot of things in Bangladesh to visit. Now, ma'am, we welcoming you, and we are very close to our program. Now, I want to show you an inspirational video, which is the touching for me. I realized, wow, what is the sound, the video? What is the message from this video? Please, before we joining our main program, we talk, see the video clip. I collect it from your wall, huh? Thank you, ma'am. Just a minute. Just watch this video. Just yeah. Ma'am, especially thank you for this special video. We want to hear something from you, especially this video.
What does it mean? The video itself was made by a wonderful travel PR company called Ink Media, and they're based in the UK. And what they wanted to do was to talk about positive messaging and supporting the travel industry worldwide in developing what would you do even if you're at home and staying at home. Who would you travel to give your first hug to? So it was very much an embracing, we're going to embrace the world, and who would you travel to give your first hug to? And I think it was a very potent way of inspiring people who are stuck at home, people who might not have left their homes for many, many months, to talk about travel and to talk about the things that make you and your personal connection to travel.
Yes. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Now, this is first time talk with Bangladeshi entrepreneur. Your feelings, ma'am?
Yes, it's lovely to know that our destination, the destinations that are the countries of Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, are becoming known to even travelers in Bangladesh. And I think after COVID-19, we realized that our traditional markets may be changing, and there's opportunity to become a larger destination that's open to travelers from all over the world. So it's very lovely to know that you've reached out and found our destination.
Oh, thank you. Ma'am, you are from Botswana. We want to know about Botswana and geographical importance of Botswana.
Okay, so I'm from Botswana, and Botswana is in Southern Africa. The Regional Tourism Association that I represent is actually representing private sector for tourism in all 4 countries of Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Zambia. So we're all at the very southern part of Africa. You have South Africa at the bottom, and then you have our countries above that. So we're all within the southern hemisphere. And we're very, very well known, not only for our wonderful people and our African pride, but tourists obviously come for the first time to see the Big Five, to understand the nature. In our region, the Victoria Falls is a natural World Heritage Site. It's also one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. There's only 1 in Africa. Now they're looking at expanding that. We have many, many national parks, which are seen as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And many people come to our destination to experience what's traditionally known as an African safari, where you can see we have almost 75% of the world's African elephants in our region. There's wonderful species of lion and leopard and cheetah and protected white rhino and endangered species like pangolin. And you can go and view these animals in their natural setting. So it's not like a zoo where you see the animals locked up. You see the animals the way they should be. And the world open into nature the way it should be. So there's not a lot of people in our destination. And a lot of our Asian clients who are coming to our destination are coming because it's the first time that they're able to see wide open spaces. But it's not only that. All of us were looking either former colonies or former protectorates. So there's a linkage with many of our other Commonwealth partners. And we have a rich cultural heritage of people and different cultures and food and environment. So when you visit our destination, you get so many different elements to excite you, whether you want a luxury safari or you want to go on an exciting whitewater river rafting experience, or you want to fly a helicopter across the plain. So there's so many different things to do in one destination. Interesting thing is, it's the only place in the world where 4 countries meet in one point. So you can stand in one place and be part of all 4 countries, which is quite amazing.
Then, ma'am, you are the CEO,
Yes.
the Great Victoria Falls Regional Tourism Association. Tell about the organization, established year, organization view, members benefit, and who is the member, become a member, how to become a member.
Right. So this is a very new association. We only formed in the end of January this year. And what it started out was, it's an entirely private sector. So there's no governments or no associations. It's only private product companies who are promoting the destination. So we have members within the region that are large companies and hotels and lodges. We have activity providers, we have airlines, and we have people who are in the supply chain who supply the tourism industry. So it's open for people in the destination to become members. And it's amazing because these destination members are from many different countries. The 4 countries, they work together even if they are competitors. We will launch in the future a certified independent travel agent for around the world. So if you, for example, a Bangladeshi travel agent and you would like to become a member, there'll be a category where you would have to qualify to be a recognized travel agent. But what that would mean would be that you would have access to our travel training, so you better sell the destination, and you have access to all our other members and direct access to consumers on our website. So very soon we'll be opening up to the travel trade around the world as much as the product in the region.
Okay, then you work as a director marketing and product at Botswana Tourism Organization. On that time, your focal point to develop tourism?
Yes, when I worked for Botswana Tourism, my key points of work were, 1, to promote the destination. So that's awareness of the destination to get more people to travel to Botswana. But we also realized that we wanted to develop the tourism product. So when you develop products in a national strategy, you're looking at what your country and your private sector does well. So they do safaris very well. But was there opportunity to grow, for example, the cultural tourism? When I was there, we were growing things like, there's some spectacular caves in Botswana, and how to open up the caves for people who would like to have cave experiences. Other times we opened up situations where you could come in with aircraft and fly in, or cultural heritage sites like the Tsodilo Hills, which is a World Heritage Site. So a lot of the work was to promote and build brand awareness of the destination. And then inside the destination was to make sure that the product is in line with the growth of the tourism industry, so that you're producing tourism product that people actually want to visit.
Okay, ma'am, we know as a director of Africa, you work with World Travel and Tourism Organization. Tell about your experience. How was it?
Yeah, so the WTTC is the private sector association for tourism globally, and their mandate was to ensure that there's a strong collective private sector voice within tourism. And when I joined them, they hadn't reached many of the African countries and the African businesses. Mostly because they just hadn't been demand. But when I was employed by them, I was asked to create an Africa strategy for WTTC so that they can be a truly worldwide tourism authority. And so it was engaging with African governments, engaging with African large tourism private sectors, and creating the linkages between world tourism with the African tourism proposition.
Okay, ma'am, one thing why Kaza? Tell something. Why Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe mark as a Kaza? Why Kaza are very important as a destination marketing strategy and campaign level of tourism supply chain?
Okay, so I think one of the best things about Kaza to market as a destination is how close everything is. So many people, when they go on holiday, you don't want to just go to one country. You're not going to come all the way from Bangladesh to go and visit one country in Africa. So when you have the Kaza region, you're able to visit 4 very unique countries in one trip. And it's very easy to link to that. So this is a really important thing for the new traveler. Another reason why you need to visit, it's a relatively safe destination. So many people who are traveling to Africa for the first time feel a little bit worried about what they see and the perception, it might not be true, but the perception of Africa in the world. This region is safe. Everybody speaks English. There is a good infrastructure, and you feel confident that you're traveling to a destination. You as the traveler will be safe, but not only that, the travel that you do does good. Tourism in most of our countries is most probably the first or the second generator of the economy, which means that you as a traveler are giving opportunities for work to the rural population who wouldn't have that. And you're helping through your travel to conserve a beautiful wildlife environment, to look after endangered species, but most of all, you're giving people jobs and livelihoods that they might not have had.
Oh, ma'am, one thing from our audience, one question for you, Mr. Iram Khan. He want to know what's your suggestion for the tourism industry of Bangladesh. Do you have any blog or email where we can contact you? And he give you the greetings for joining.
Sure. You can contact us. We're on all the different social media channels. So on LinkedIn, you can just search for the Victoria Falls Regional Tourism Association. You can contact us on LinkedIn. If you want to be inspired, you can find us on social media on Facebook and Instagram under Africa's Eden. And you're also welcome to contact me directly. I can't answer the question here, but at jblackbeard@thevictoriafalls.travel. There's also a website, which is thevictoriafalls.travel.
Okay, ma'am, thank you for telling, and we go to the next question. We want to know, ma'am, this is, when we want to go Europe, then if we take in one country visa like Italy, then we visit all the Schengen countries. Then why not? You have this type of visa, or if our traveler want to visit Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, then they need to take 4 different visa.
Yes, and you're 100% correct, Faisal. Visas is one of the biggest barriers to entry for most of our clients. So right now, as it stands, you need a visa for Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Namibia, and you can't apply for them for one country. You can apply for a visa to Zambia online. So they have e-visas, which means you could visit the Victoria Falls on the Zambian side. The Victoria Falls is shared by Zimbabwe and Zambia. There is a concept in Kaza, and there is political work happening to creating what we call the Kaza Uni Visa, which would mean that you would apply to one country and then you could travel all 4. So from our perspective, we spend a lot of time talking to the governments and lobbying them, because it doesn't make sense to have to ask for a visa for all 4 countries when you can stand in all 4 countries with 1 foot. You see what I'm saying? There's not just that, we also need to have a better visa application process. Visa application needs to be done online. And many of our visitors find it very difficult that they have to take their passport into a consulate. And so many travelers who want to come and visit our destination find it difficult because you have to take your passport. So we are working with the governments to ask them to, 1, implement e-visas where you can apply online, which would make the process very easy. And secondly, once that's done, if we could have a single visa for the entire region.
Okay. Then, ma'am, you know development growth rate Bangladesh last 5 years is very charming. Then why not you focus Bangladesh the past year? Why not your marketing lineup? You not wrote the name of Bangladesh. What is the limitation? What is the problem? Can you tell this?
Sure. There's definitely no problem. I think if you understand our history, tourism in the region is relatively new. So it's only recently become a tourism destination in the last 20 years. And when they were developing the tourism product, they were focused on high value traditional markets, which were the US and Europe. And it was because the lodges that were built, there wasn't a lot of product. But the world is changing because at the time when we started our development, there wasn't a lot of flights into the destination. So therefore, to come from Bangladesh to our destination would have taken maybe 3 to 4 flights. Now in the world that there's new airlines, especially through the Middle East, it's much easier for you to reach our destination. So you can fly from Dhaka and then to
Dubai
and then into our destination. So in part, the reason why there wasn't a lot of marketing was because there was no flights. Now that we're seeing the opening up of aviation links, I think that you are able to market more to your destination. The interesting thing is when we follow many of our Asian markets, they only began traveling in the last 5 or so years. So now we also have to change how we market to our Asian markets and also how we market to the diaspora. Because I believe in Bangladesh, you have diaspora around the world. People from Bangladesh living in Europe, living in America, and they also might want to come and visit the destination.
Yes, ma'am. When we come to the event, then we analyze the visiting tourist visiting rate, Kaza region. We saw the tourists not visit Kaza region. What is the main fact and the limitation?
I think the first one is because one, we didn't sell to you. We weren't marketing. So if the tourism board is not marketing, how will you ever know about the destination? So that was number 1. That is changing. Number 2 is visas. And I think we need to work with our governments to open up for visas. Number 3 is air links, but it's getting better. So how do you get to our destination? If we can do those 3 elements, or we make better improvements there, I think you'll see more people from Bangladesh coming to the region. Right now, I looked up in the statistics and I couldn't find statistics for any of the countries except for Botswana, because they have a partnership with the UNWTO. In 2018, only 264 Bangladesh tourists visited Botswana. So it's a very, very small amount.
Yes, last 5 years when the Egypt tourism is not popular in Bangladesh, now it's much popular. People want to visit Egypt. So we want to know how we overcome from the limitation and how we marked Kaja as a popular destination from Bangladesh.
And I think the first thing is just having conversations like this so that your trade are able to understand where the destination is. You can't sell the destination if you don't understand. So we're launching what's called an online travel training module. It's free of charge, and anybody in the trade can run through the travel training to be able to sell our destination. So it helps you understand how to sell it. The second thing is having the linkages with your various consulates. So we know that the Botswana one is there. Have a, go in and say, we would like to sell this destination. Can we meet so that you are able to help your clients go through the process of visas? Because you want your clients to be happy. They don't want to be held up with visas and other issues. And I think that it's just marketing and understanding what Bangladeshis would like to see. Do they want to see the big five, or are they only interested in the falls? Or are they luxury tourists, or are they budget tourists? So these type of discussions help people who are marketing the destination better sell it to your market. Everything is about target marketing.
Are you want to interested to make one more conversation with our tourism outbound tourism stakeholder? We want to talk with them.
We can do that.
Then
we can
have
a discussion about what you want. What is it? How do Bangladeshis think of Africa? How do they travel? Because our destination does have a variety, but it's also known as being a higher value destination. So pricing is quite high compared to other destinations. So how do we target that? Do they want to do a luxury safari, or do they want to do adventure? What do they want to do? Do they want to go to only one country in one holiday, or do they want to package it into 4 countries? Many people want to package, for example, our destination, the Casa countries, with South Africa, so that you would see Cape Town as well as our destinations. This is very, very popular. You're not going to go all the way around the world and not go to Cape Town either. So it's very much understanding. I'm happy to have a conversation with him.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, I want to personally note that in Kaja region, if we want to getting professional tour guides, there you have in Kaja, you have licensed
members who are local tour operators. So they're people who are recognized by our association, and they are local tour operating companies or individuals. So it's very good. If you don't understand the destination yet, you can make linkages with a tour operator on the ground. Because the way people come on holiday is that they might fly into a main international airport and spend a day there. But the beauty of our destinations are in small camps and lodges. And the only way to get to small camps and lodges is in small planes. So you land in the big plane, and then you take a plane that's maybe 4 people in a small plane, and then you go to a camp and lodge that is maybe 10 to 15 rooms, and you spend 3 days there and you do the activities, and then you move to another one. So we often say, if you're not familiar, link up with a local tour operator. They will help you on the ground, the destination management consultant, on how to make the transfers, how to cross borders, what is the best activity, because otherwise you don't get to see the destination as best as possible. So as our members, we have a link with all the people we recommend, and therefore your travel can then talk to them.
Okay, ma'am, when we talk some traveler who have visas for Botswana, they told us that when they submit for visa, they have lot of problem that getting the visa from Bangladesh. It's very tough to getting Botswana visa. Can you tell about this? If anyone want to visit only one country, Botswana, then they can apply for e-visa, or it's easy for sticker visa.
So you still have to apply in your consulate for the visa for Botswana. Obviously, because I'm not government, I can't comment on government policy, but I do advise you to make relationships with the people in the consulate, so that you're not, when it's better to have a pre-existing relationship with the consulate before your client comes. Don't wait to take your client to the consulate and then expect something to happen. If you've already built a relationship, it will be easier for you to service your clients traveling. So my advice is make those relationships. The only country you can apply for an e-visa right now is Zambia. So the easiest country to sell right now is Zambia, because e-visas, you apply online and there's a process, but you don't actually have to go to a consulate. But if your guests want to see the region, and I highly recommend seeing all of the countries, they're all very amazing, each one, it would be good for them to start making relationships with them. And so we just act as an association, as an intermediary. We will help you with our linkages where we can.
Okay, ma'am. Give your valuable opinion how to country exchange our culture, tourism product, and getting benefit.
So cultural tourism is very interesting because there's always an opportunity to share. So from a tourism perspective, we can always learn from other countries how they sell and how they develop their tourism products. So there's always opportunities of sharing, and I know that many of our tourism boards do have sharing. I think in terms of cultural tourism, there's international bodies that work on cultural tourism, like UNESCO, and they have a set of standards and protocols on how not only to market and sell these products, but how to protect them. And more we're realizing that maybe the best way to preserve and protect and promote our products is actually maybe limiting or improving the structures around them, so that, yes, there's a limited amount of people to come in, but the people's quality is so much better. And so it's working on those processes and sharing, how did you protect your cultural tourism and how did you promote it? Then there's tangible cultural tourism. It's about understanding how you share different cultures. People travel to see something different. I don't go and travel to see something I already know. You go and travel to experience new places and new things. Social media has allowed us to promote cultural tourism and cultural sharing so much more. And it's not about just taking a photo with somebody you think is a cultural person. It's going and experiencing and understanding the different ways of life of people. And I remember, I've never visited your country, so it's definitely on the bucket list. But for example, when I visited Thailand, it was during the WTTC summit, they had tours into people's homes and how they prepared food, etc. And it's about not just going and seeing, it's about experiencing different people's ways of life. And I think that tourists are able to take home cultural experiences much more than when you used to travel and you'd just stay in a resort. You come in, you see, you might stay in a resort, but you must also understand and value the experience of where you travel to. Because taking home those cultural tourist memories will keep people coming back.
Miss Jillian, tell about Tlokohomela Endangered Wildlife Trust.
Okay, Tlokohomela Wildlife Trust. We set it up to protect, to add as a fundraising organization for endangered species in Botswana. And what we did was we funded different activities that protected all the endangered species, like elephant, rhino, pangolin, vultures. And I no longer work there, but even under our association of the Victoria Falls Association, we support many conservation associations, people like Elephants Without Borders or the Victoria Falls Wildlife Trust. What that does is people come to see wildlife in our region. That's why you come. You want to see these beautiful animals. You can't see them anywhere in the world. But unfortunately, illegal wildlife trade is everywhere. And there's a terrible threat from poaching. And if we don't support these different organizations, there will be no product for people to visit. But it's not just that. It's not just protection of animals. If you help the communities that live around the animals have a good life, then poaching doesn't happen. And there's a lot of key learning that we've had in Asia when we looked at things like collaboration, for example, between elephant poaching and rhino poaching and, for example, tiger poaching, etc. How do you develop a tourism product which gives people value so the people in the community can contribute and earn a livelihood so that they're not enabling poaching and the animals then survive? I don't want my children or my grandchildren to never see an elephant. That would be very, very sad for me. So I want to make sure that even your children or your grandchildren are also able to travel to Kaza and see these wonderful animals in their natural environment.
Ma'am, UNESCO Mangrove Heritage Site Sundarban, you getting variations of wildlife. Are you thinking about this wildlife? There is a lot of deer, lot of birds, a lot of crocodile, and the most attractive thing is Royal Bengal tiger is
Yes.
there. Are you thinking about this wildlife, or your organization's voice only for African wildlife?
Well, unfortunately, our organizations are for only African, but there are many amazing associations that are working, I believe, even in Bangladesh. I think what's important, Faisal, is that people are the center of conservation. If you do not make or help Bangladeshis understand why wildlife is important, it will never work. You can't get somebody from New York coming in and telling you to preserve your own animals. You need, as people, to understand their value and to create wealth in preservation. If you don't do that with your own people, it will never work. And so there are organizations that are working with people on the ground. They need to have value, and that's why tourism is so important, because tourism gives value to communities. It doesn't matter if it's in Bangladesh or it is in Zimbabwe, as long as there's value to the people.
Okay, then your message is very clear. In future, your voice is for Bangladeshi wildlife also, and hope we work together in future. Then, ma'am, we are very near to our program. Almost we are talking 40 minutes. Then our last question. Tell few words about Miss Jillian passion.
You know what? What I do. If you cannot work in tourism, and you are the same, my number one passion is in what I do. So every day I wake up and I love what I do. And I love my destination, and I love the people and the wildlife and everything I do. You know, I have 2 children, and whenever we are on holiday, we go into the destination. I'm passionate. I cook there. I live there. You saw my cat comes back and forth because I'm passionate about the animals. And for me, I love the passion of where I live and the places that I've lived. I've lived many places in the world. I've lived from Italy to Indonesia to Denmark, but it's always home. And I'm so passionate about Botswana and Zimbabwe and Zambia and Namibia. And I love Africa. And I believe that Africa is there's a new dawn for Africa.
Yes.
We are going to cross. But I also have a passion just for traveling. I love to meet new people. I love to see things that I don't know. Because if you stay in your own home all the time, you don't have anything to compare it with. So if you only travel in your own country, you might not think it's as beautiful as it is because you've never had a comparison. It's important to understand, and I'm passionate about traveling and understanding.
Like mine, I am very passionate to traveling. A lot of time I travel Thailand, Malaysia, but I realize that time I need to do visit Africa, visit Iran, and most of thing I do that time. Now the realization come when I much more traveling, then I getting much more knowledge and much more connecting with successful person, successful leaders. So I want to know, in your lifetime, you visit Bangladesh or not?
Oh, I definitely want to visit Bangladesh. I want to visit your country. Definitely want to visit.
Okay, ma'am. I want to welcoming you, Bangladesh, and our last question that there is any option that we jointly work getting benefits to marketing and promoting tourism product like as a tourism destination, Victoria Falls and our UNESCO mangrove site Sundarban. Can we, is it any option or any possibilities or any chances that getting jointly benefited?
There's always an opportunity to jointly market. The world is made by linkages. And
Yes.
as long as you have an interest and something that unites you, so we have a united World Heritage Sites, you can use that to promote and work together. If there's interest, I believe that there's always an opportunity. You must stop looking at things that stop you from doing something and things that help you do things. It is so much better. We need to think positively. How do we make it happen? So I'm completely open.
Okay, ma'am, last question. This is not a question. We want a message for Bangladesh travel and tourism industry.
Mm-hmm.
We want your message for yes.
My message for you is to look up on our website, look up on LinkedIn, understand the opportunities to understand in the destination. Take the travel training when it comes out in the next week and start to understand the destination. That's my message. You can't sell something you don't know, so find out more. There's beautiful information and use those linkages in order to build linkages for your clients. Your clients want to be sure that when they travel, you understand what they want. And so that's my message to them.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Be with us. Ladies and gentlemen, you watching very important and the Kaja region today. We try to focus and connect with our tourism industry. Hope in future we will start. Today we will start to focusing. From now we will talk more and do more and hope Kaja is popular destination for Bangladeshi tourists. And I welcoming our Bangladeshi outbound stakeholder. Please focus on Kaja website and Botswana tourism website and learn something. There is lot of things are free. So, ladies and gentlemen, for today, now we are say goodbye, and tomorrow we have another important program that is Miss Marichar Donato, World Federation of Tourist Guide Association Global Ambassador. She will talk with us. So keep your eyes. Piano Cafe Virtual Connect. We will meet you with you soon. Thank you, man, for being with us, and thank you.